Introduction to Debentures. Learning Objectives. At the end of this module, you will be able to explain the meaning of a debenture, classify the various types of debentures, Andy Limited was incorporated 1 year ago with an authorised capital of 50 lakh rupees. The company is issued and called up the entire capital. Now the company needs another 20 lakh rupees for its expansion plan. So, the company has decided to take a long-term loan from the public. For this, the company has decided to issue debentures. Debenture has been derived from a Latin word, debere, which means to borrow. A debenture is a written instrument acknowledging a long-term debt issued under the common seal of the company. Most companies issue debentures to meet their long-term funding requirements. This is in addition to shares. Through the issue of debentures, a company collects the necessary funds required from the public. These debentures represent a loan taken by the company. For this, the company has to pay interest periodically at a predetermined rate to the public against this loan. Further, the principal amount taken by the company is repaid to the public or debenture holders after a specific period, at periodic intervals, or at the option of the company, depending on the contract terms. The term bond is also used interchangeably with the term debenture. In India, bonds were earlier issued by the government. However, these days, they are issued by semi-government organisations and private organisations as well. A debenture is defined by E. Thomas as Going ahead, we will now look at the various types of debentures issued by companies. The first classification of debentures is based on security. The debentures under this category are of two types. They are secured debentures and unsecured debentures. In the case of secured debentures, a charge is created on the assets of the company. This means that if the company goes into liquidation or default, the assets are sold off by the company to repay the loan. The charge so created on the assets of the company may be a fixed charge or floating charge. For example, if the charge is created against specific assets like buildings, machinery, and so forth, such a charge is referred to as a fixed charge. In the event of default by the company, such specific assets against which a fixed charge is created are sold to repay the amount due to debenture holders. Sometimes the charge is not created on specific assets, but on all the assets of the company, excluding those assets assigned to other secured creditors. Such a charge is referred to as a floating charge. In the event of default by the company, all the assets are sold to repay the amount due to debenture holders. The other category is unsecured debentures. These debentures, by default, hold a floating charge or a charge against all the assets of the company. They do not hold any fixed charge against any specific asset, like buildings, machinery, and so forth. This is why they are referred to as unsecured debentures. classification of debentures is based on tenure. There are two types of debenture under this classification. They are redeemable debentures and irredeemable debentures. Let us first look at redeemable debentures. The principal amount of the debentures is repaid to the debenture holders either in a lump sum or in instalments throughout tenure of the debenture. Redeemable debentures are for a specific period. On expiry of such a period, say 5 years, 10 years, or so forth, these debentures are redeemed. This means that the principal amount is paid back to the debenture holders at that time. On expiry of the specified term, these debentures are redeemed either at par value or even at a premium value. That is, if the par or face value of the debenture is 100 rupees, then it can be redeemed on expiry either at the par value of 100 rupees or at a premium value of, say, 110 rupees, as decided by the directors of the company. Let us now look at irredeemable debentures. These debentures do not have a specific period of expiry, like 5 years, 10 years, or so forth. This means that the company does not give any undertaking for repayment of the principal amount. However, this does not mean that the amount of these debentures is not paid at all. The company pays interest on these debentures at periodic intervals, which are either quarterly, half-yearly, or annually. The principal amount is usually repaid when the company winds up, or after a period of time, as decided by the directors. The next classification of debentures is based on convertibility. Debentures under this classification are of two types. They are convertible debentures and non-convertible debentures. Convertible debentures are those debentures which, after a period of time, are converted into equity shares of the company. For example, a company issued 10,000 convertible debentures of 100 rupees each. Let us assume that after 1 year, these debentures are converted by the company to 10,000 equity shares of 100 rupees each. This is done either at the option of the company or at the option of the debenture holders. Further, the debentures may be fully convertible to equity shares. This means that all 10,000 debentures issued by the company are converted to equity shares. Furthermore, the debentures may be partly convertible. This means that only a part of the debentures, say 6,000, are converted to equity shares. These kinds of debenture are not very popular and are issued by very few companies. Non-convertible debentures cannot be converted to equity shares or any other securities. Most companies use this kind of non-convertible debenture. Moving on, we will now look at another classification of debentures, which is based on coupon rate. There are again two types of debenture under this category, based on tenure. They are specific coupon rate debentures and zero coupon rate debentures. Let us first understand specific coupon rate debentures. A company issued 10,000 debentures at the rate of 100 rupees each. These debentures are issued at par value, and the interest rate is 10% per annum. This interest rate is also referred to as the coupon rate. So, specific coupon rate debentures are those debentures which carry a specific coupon rate at which the company pays interest periodically to the debenture holders. This rate may be fixed or floating. In the case of a fixed rate, the rate remains fixed this case, the coupon rate of 10% per annum remains fixed. So the debenture holders will get interest at this rate until these debentures are redeemed. Further, in the case of a floating rate, the interest rate changes periodically, usually in line with bank rates. Let us now look at the zero coupon rate debentures. Suppose a company issues debentures with a face value of 100 rupees at a discounted price of 80 rupees. Here, the difference between the face value and the issue price, that is 20 rupees, is considered as interest throughout the life of the debentures. So, zero coupon rate debentures have the coupon rate as 0. This means that they do not have any specific rate of interest. These debentures are issued at a discount. Moving on, we will look at another classification of debentures, which is based on registration. These debentures are of two types. They are registered debentures and bearer debentures. In the case of registered debentures, the company maintains a register of the names, addresses, number of debentures, and other such relevant information of all debenture holders. Such debentures cannot be transferred by mere delivery from one person to another. These debentures can only be transferred by the debenture holder by executing a regular transfer deed. The interest on these debentures is paid periodically, as per the updated names mentioned in the register. In the case of bearer debentures, the company does not keep a record of the debenture holders. Such debentures can be transferred by mere delivery from one person to another, and do not require a transfer deed. The interest on these debentures is paid periodically to the person who produces the interest coupon attached to such debentures. This completes the module on Introduction to Debentures.